Typically, time has passed. It's been a couple of weeks since I started this. Other things have happened and I never get round to it, so today's the day. This is the Ecoflame Inset Stove we've got behind us. It is now attached to my flue system. The flue does drop in through the inside of the stove for internal connection, like it does in a lot, but not all inset fires. So you'll have seen me do inset stove videos before, and if you haven't, have a look at our YouTube channel. You can always have a look at the Charlton and Jimrick Fireline FPI 5 wide video that I did. Now, this stove is a lot more basic in construction, but then it's a lot lesser price tag. And basically, this cassette here is about 400 millimeters wide and just pushes into the fireplace opening. And then you have a trim. They only do a 3-sided trim that goes on the wall in the front. And these just pop on. So you've got a convection box and then the trim pushes on the wall on the front at the end. So I'm just going to put this in place and get it fitted up to my flue on my test rig, and then we'll have a burn of it and see how she performs. Okay, so the inside of this stove is lined out in vermiculite and it's pretty easy to strip out. So the log retainer just lifts out. There's a really nice heavyweight ash pan that sits the full width of the grate on the inside. The baffle is simply held up by the side lining panel. So if you push the baffle up, and it's not easy to do with my hand, and take the side panels out, you can then lift the baffle out. Above that, there is another little metal plate, and the collar has 3 screws which drops down into the inside, so you connect your flue pipe and flue liner and then push it up from the inside and then do connections through the top. So, yeah, this drops down through the inside of the stove for internal connection and then pushes back up. It's not difficult to do at all. So tonight's the night I get to light it up. The manual says this stove takes up to 2 27 centimetre wide logs. The small logs that I've got at the moment, just so you can see, are a good 10 inches in length. More than 10 inches in length. They're 26 centimetres, okay, what this one is. So we'll put a couple of small pieces in there. Let's take that out, put a slightly bigger one in. And some kindling. Little Jenga stack in there with a fire lighter and some more kindling on top. Now this one is, there's 2 air controls that both push in and pull out. Okay. So the one on the left is our secondary that we use to control the fire, and the primary, which is the one that we use to get started or for solid fuel, is on right. So we'll have them both out to start with. There we go, fire lit, door slightly ajar, and we'll just let this pick away and see what she does. So typically of inset fires, that handle looks wonky. It's not wonky, it's just because it's not closed. And my floor isn't level, and the stove isn't straight, but it is a test rig, so I'm not going to worry about that for now. It'll be straight when it goes in. But as per most inset stoves, the vast majority of inset stoves are top exit only. I would say that that is about 3 inches forward from the back. We are about 8 inches from the front. Let's have a look. 200mm is the guess. 200mm from the front of the unit to the start of the collar. And my guess was 75mm from the back, which is near enough spot on. It's a 5-inch diameter flue. So it's still warm outside, but it is not too bad out there tonight. It's been raining today, which was quite nice because it's been ever so dry and dusty out there. So we'll just give this a few minutes to take. It's taking off at good speed and the kindling is catching nice and quick. Already my logs are starting to go, and it's only been a minute or so since I lit that kindling. The black at the top is obviously carbon because it's not yet up to temperature, which should soon burn off as it heats up. But it's taken away at good speed and there is a good amount of draw on this, so it's not struggling in any way, shape or form. Actually, I can already feel the heat starting to come out the front, so it's really good at pushing the heat forward so far. The casing at the back is still cold, as I would hope it to be, for now at least. But yeah, it's only been a minute or two, and yeah, you can feel the heat coming out the front. And as you can see inside the firebox, it's pulling away nicely. So I'll give it about another minute or so, and then we will just get enough updraft, and then we will shut the door. Both the primary and the secondary, the top and bottom air vents are fully open. Now what I am expecting to see with this, because it's a convection stove, which is basically a box within a box, is as that paint starts to cure and take a heat up, we may see some smoky residue coming off the body, which is entirely normal as the paint starts to bake on. But I'll tell you about that if and when that occurs. Right, we'll just shut the door now. And it's pulling away nicely. There's plenty of draw on that. And I'll come back to it in a couple of minutes. Actually, this is a good test and something you're not meant to do. The kindling's on top and my logs are starting to take. Now, you're not meant to open the door unless it's on chunky red ember. And I've just cracked the door ajar slightly. But as you'll see, this stove isn't even heated up yet at all. That is just the kindling, and there's no smoking back. None, no spillage whatsoever. And this is a short chimney with something you would never do in any building. It wouldn't meet any standards at all because it is just a test rig. So given it's connected to 3 appliances, or it connects to 3 appliances, it has not a lot of power in it at all in comparison to what a real chimney would. And there is 0 spillage out the front of that, and it's pulling nicely. This is heating up good and quickly, and I don't know if you can see in the inside, but the baffle where it's black is now starting to go cream because the carbon is burning off. I've still got the top and bottom here. So this is getting up to speed good and quick, and I don't know if you can see, but the baffle at the top did go black with carbon, as we expect it to, but that carbon is all starting to burn back off and go cream. I still have my primary air vent open, which we are now going to close. So there's now no bottom air, and it has died back slightly, which is fine, that's okay. We're just going to wait and let it get up to temperature. Leave the top air fully open until she heats up. Right, what you're seeing now is not fumes. That is the paint going off as it starts to bake on the body. Because this is layers, because it's an inner box inside the outer box, it is going to try and come out from everywhere. So the outside casing of that is getting hot on the top, but it's still cool on the sides. And the smoke is coming out of the internal casing and the front just off the paint. That's nothing to worry about. That's just because we're just doing the first burn on this fire. This is up to temperature and burning beautifully. Now, I have to say, it's as clean as a bell. My arms are roasting, so the heat through off of it is fantastic. I cannot complain about that whatsoever. The primary lower air vent is shut, and it's just the tertiary air vent that's open. So we'll take a closer look and see what the air control does. Okay, so the primary air is shut. I'm going to shut down the secondary if I can reach it. And instantly I can hear the air drop, and the fire is slowing down. There's a very visible change in the firebox, but it's still burning nice and clean. Don't forget that this is a DEFRA stove, so the air will be permanently locked about 20% open. I can see the air injection at the back through the tertiary performing well. There's actually 2 tertiary bars with holes in that, so there's a nice burn pattern which is giving more upper firebox chamber detail, because most stoves, I'll show you another one in a minute, only have 1 bar, and this actually has 2. So the door handles are hot. It is a hollow air-cooled handle, but the door handle is hot. You are going to need a glove on that. Just prime the door for a second. It's got a good strong pull on there. Now, I am absolutely roasting. I'm a good way away from that, and I honestly can't get any closer, or I'm going to overheat my phone. The heat coming out of this thing is absolutely ferocious. The heat throw on it is fantastic. And I didn't think that was going to happen for a budget unit, to be fair. But there you go. You can see that there's a double rail of air injections when I zoom in at the back. I cannot take you any closer because my phone is going to tell us that we are overheating. And there's just some small lugs, some small bits in that firebox. They're not huge. I actually think I'm going to move my gas canister before I blow it up, because the heat of this thing is ridiculous. It's very, very good. Now there you go. Now we've shut the door, you can see that the air is dropping right back. And the tertiary is burning off the carbon at the top of the firebox. But it's still clean. I can't fault this, I really can't. Open it back up again. Comes back into check and wakes up in a split second. All I can say is well done to Mac on this unit, because do you know what? It's bloody good. It's exceptional value for money at coming in under £1,000, and honestly, I've got nothing to fault this on. The only thing that I'm not so keen on is the fact that in the manual it tells you not to insulate the firebox. I like a firebox that I can insulate and thermal wrap this, so that it's not putting heat into the walls, so you're throwing even more heat out forward. But the fuel consumption rate on this and the burn speed is very controllable. The heat out the front that's radiating out the front of this, I'm absolutely roasting. And with what's actually coming off the body, there's quite a lot of heat coming off the body, but not like the heat that's coming out the front. It is chinting it out. It really is hot and spotlessly clean. So if I open this door and show you the inside of the glass, we'll see how clean it's burning. That glass is clean as a bell. A tiny bit of residue at the back of that, where the bar is at the bottom, that's to be expected. And I do mean a tiny, tiny haze. Nothing that you can even see with the door open or the door shut, really. It's beautiful. Short video on this one tonight. I don't think I need to do a half an hour on it. There's not really a huge amount else to tell you. For the price, for a unit that is floating about the £1,000 mark, is a bloody good buy. You can tell the difference that it's lighter weight and the quality of the trim. You can only get a 3-sided trim, they don't do a 4. You could easily make your own. A trim's not the end of the world. You could easily dress the front up and make a handmade trim for it. The trim's a bit tinny and a bit meh, but look, it looks okay. Once it's on the wall, you won't feel any difference. You're not taking the trim off and on every day. Once it's on, it's staying on there. It's hollow at the back. The handle gets hot. What'd you expect? It's a budget unit. Controllability. It's damn good. That's why I run Ecoflames as a budget brand, because value for money, they do give you really, really good performance. And I'm astonished that this is around about £1,000 mark, because honestly, it's really, really good. Well, what I have to say is I am absolutely blown away by this because it is performed beautifully and stunningly clean. As you can see, that is still the first kindling fire from when I put it in there. That's the logs that I had in the bottom, and we've only burnt the kindling off the top. I put one extra small log in because there was 2 tiny bits in there. I haven't burnt any more than 1 kilo of fuel in that since I loaded it up. And I'm not even going to put any more logs in there and do a reload, because although I've only been burning this stove for about 45 minutes, heading towards an hour, there is loads of fuel left in that. It's beautiful, bright and clean. The controllability on it is just fantastic. For a budget unit, you couldn't want for more at the price point. For a budget inset, this is definitely going to be my go-to. Yes, it's not the same as buying the likes of a Charlton Genrig or a Heta, but then you're looking at least 50% more money. But for a budget inset, it's the nuts.